Hi, hi all. In these videos, this is Param. Okay, in this video, I will explain about how to set up the transformation. Okay, so setup means what? There are two things involved. Okay, one is hardware setup is there. Okay, so hardware setup within the cluster and transformation job definition, right? Okay, these two are the setups. Okay, so we to do any transformation, we must have one dedicated node for transformation. Minimum one node. Of course, you can have more than one node. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, up to your money or capacity. Okay, or use case need. Okay, that could be any reasons. Okay, so we need one or more dedicated node within your cluster. Okay, to that role plays. That means node dot role that will have transformations. Okay, that's how we have to add one or more transformations role specific node to the cluster. That is the first setups. Okay, second setups, of course, we have to define the transformation jobs. Okay, so as I said, why we want to do the transformation is, of course, it is analysis friendly. Okay, the structure. Okay, so by default the index, it is just a key value pair, right? It's a kind of JSON data. Okay, if you want them some entity centric specific, entity centric means what? Okay, even when I read or when I work with that, I thought what could be entity centric. Okay, very simple. Say we have the data. Okay, so entity centric means we group all the data particular customer ID. That means what? Entity ID is a customer ID is a entity centric here. Okay, so we have 10 of records. Okay, 10 of documents. All the 10 documents grouped by the customer ID. So that means that is what entity centric. Okay, so entity centric is one other way. Technically, what means technically it is one or more fields specific. Okay, or one or more field specific grouping. That is what entity centric, nothing else. Okay, so that is a technical kind of jargons. Okay, but actually technically what is now we are grouping the record based on one or two fields. That's it. That is what entity centric group. The entity centrics. Okay, sorry, whenever we need entity centrics, we have to go for pivot. Okay, whenever we need this is what the deciding criteria, which one, either you want to go for pivot or you want to go for latest. Okay, if you want to go entity centric transformation, then obviously we have to go for pivot. If you need such a kind of things, just you want to group kind of unique key alone. Okay, then you can go for latest. Okay, of course, even if you want to understand, get the latest kind of some data. Okay, let's say what is the server, okay, which receive the latest request. Okay, or what is the latest request for each server, what is the latest request for each server. Let's say you have 10 servers. Okay, 10 web server. Okay, that time, so you want to know that the recent request for on each server. So in that case, we will go for latest. Okay, latest, that is this type of transformations. Okay, of course, as I said, transformation is really costly. Okay, so though it make data analysis friendly or user friendly, anything. Okay, whatever let it do whatever you do with the facility. Okay, it's a resource. It consumes the resource. Okay, it consumes a lot of resource, in fact. So that's why people will do the dedicated index. That is one thing. Second thing, it search the data, it ingests the data, it will do the manipulation. That means aggregation or calculating some aggregations. Okay, or it will do the grouping. So all these things are executed. So it's a large volume of performance. Okay, large volume of performance introduced by the each transformations. Okay, so that's why people would say transformation is more costly. It is not as much as cheap. Okay, that's okay. That is a very thing. So it occupy the many resources. It occupy the process. It occupy the storage. It occupy the what else? RAM, memory, everything. Okay, so it is a resource intensive process. Okay, transformations. Okay, don't forget that. Okay, now let's look at the pivot. Of course, the deciding criteria for the pivot is entity centric. Okay, and obviously what it has to have at least minimum one or more group by and one or more aggregations. Okay, that is okay. Pre-available in any case. Okay, mappings, of course, mapping is the destination mapping is deduced by the identified or inferred by the field by itself. Okay, field of the source index itself. Okay, now, okay, so I will show how I have defined a pivot. This is the one index. Okay, Let me scroll down. Okay. Okay, now here this is I have defined source index. Okay, here I am doing, this is a preview, right? I think it's a preview of, no, it's actual definitions. Okay, so if it is preview, not it will be on the in the API end with the underscore preview. Okay, this is a definition. Okay, I'm defining a what transformation jobs. Okay, obviously I should have source and destination index. It must have, I think, yeah, it is there. Okay, destination index, it is there, and I am defining the pivot index. So because I want to have the centric entity centric transformation I want to do. So obviously here I am doing group by. So here I am doing based on the client IP. Client IP is one of the field in my documents. That's it. Okay. So group by is there. Okay, as I said, and the aggregations. Okay, it can have many aggregations. Okay, here you can see some of the aggregation has been defined. So this is how a pivot transformations is defined. Okay, if you want to preview, you can try and underscore with start preview. Okay, that's how. Okay, so I have already executed. Okay, if I execute again, it may give the errors. Okay, since some things are already there. That's it. Okay, this is the this is how you will define the transformation, pivot specific transformation, entity centric transformations. Okay, using API. I will show how to define in the Kibana UI itself. Okay. Now let's move to the here latest. Okay. Latest again here we will define the unique key by few fields and a short. That is very important. I tried it without short. Okay, short columns. Okay, but it didn't work. Okay, so it's short. Okay, here I have mentioned. Okay, that is fine. Let me remove this one. Okay, so short. And so it is dynamic mappings. Okay, of the destination index. It uses so dynamic mapping means what? Based on the data types. Okay, based on the data types, it okay. Identify the type of the column in the destination index. Of course, there is no grouping, no aggregation in the latest things. Okay. Now, in both cases, what is now it can be batch or it can be a continuous transformation. Okay, that's why here batch means once. That's what. Okay, nothing else. Okay, so it can be batch or continuous in both cases. Okay, of course, for each transformation, if it is continuous transformation, so checkpoint will be there. If it is a batch, there will be only one checkpoint. If it is a continuous, for every time the transformation execute, there will be separate checkpoint will be created. So the checkpoint is what is that? You can in Oracle. In Oracle, I forgot that word. Okay, in Oracle, while doing update or something like that, roll out to some point. Okay, I don't know that. No, I forgot the noun. Okay, we can say roll out to till that point. That's how we can issue. Okay, you can create in Oracle while updating some records. Okay, in a particular session. Similarly, so that's similar idea here. Okay, so checkpoint is similar idea. Okay, so because of it, we can roll back or which checkpoint it has error. Okay, so usually the error can be three types. Okay, either temporary failure can be network or something. Okay, or irrecoverable failure. Let's say some data crash or something like that, or adjustment failure. Okay, so the checkpoint failure may be either of these three types. Okay, we don't need to worry about that much. What is a checkpoint? Okay, checkpoint, right? For every transformation to create the checkpoint. Okay, but how we are going to manipulate the checkpoint, or are we going to see the checkpoint? No, then there is no API that support you can pull all the checkpoints. Okay, that is it's internal, completely internal. Okay, but if you want the debug, okay, if you want to debug your transformations, there is a separate index called it is hidden index. Okay, you can see that it starts with the dot transform underscore notification underscore read. This is a hidden system wise index where you can fetch the all the transformation by the transformation ID. Okay, where you can understand what has happened exactly. Okay, something like that. The second thing is still if you want to debug more information, if you want the more debug information, then what is now? You can check the log of a node which play the transformation role. Okay, so in that node will have the detailed logs. Okay, that's how they will say. Okay, but I don't think we need the kind of debugging something like that. Okay, then alerting. Okay, if something goes wrong, okay, or some not able to pass, or there is no space, or some connectivity issue, or something like that. Okay, if you want to alert, you can configure. Okay, so you can configure your alert for your transformations. So whenever that corresponding threshold occur, it will alert also. Because of transformation, let's say it is continuous transformation, assume that, okay. So it may be running for every 1 hour, okay. So if any transformation got failed or something occurred, okay, we want to get notified, right? We will think, let's say it's midnight, okay, or even we cannot keep on watching whether it's every time it's running properly or not, okay. We will not worry about that, right? We don't care. Okay, so something goes wrong means we should be notified, right? That's the alert feature. Okay, it's available for the transformation also within the Elasticsearch. Okay. Okay, so this is I shown pivot sample. Now I will show the latest. Okay, and now latest here preview or definition. Okay, let's go with the preview this time. Okay, here let me here. Okay, so it is a preview. So obviously, what is it? There is no need of destination index. Even if we give, it will just simply ignore. Okay, so obviously source index it is there. So you can see here latest. So whatever it's a flight number, unique number, and short by timestamp. Okay, so how it will identify which columns? It's a very simple time based columns. Okay, timestamp usually used to identify what are the records are new record, what are the records are already transformed in the source index. Okay, and the frequency, how often it has to be transformed? So 1 minute, but usually by default is 10 minutes. Okay, default is 10 minutes. By in Elasticsearch itself, if you don't specify anything, obviously it will be 10 minutes the default values. Okay, here you can see that sync. Okay, sync frequency, frequency for every 10 minutes. Okay, while doing sync, how should I work? Okay, while seeing sync, okay, here I am saying timestamp field. Okay, I should specify a date time specific field. It could be a timestamp, or it could be my insertion date, or it could be my any field that should be only date and type. But keep in mind, it does not support the nanosecond field. Okay, that is a limitation. There is a nano date type. There is nano time database, and then the typed column is the supported by the Elasticsearch. Okay, nanosecond typed, yes, we can have column with nano typed, that is supported by the Elasticsearch, but that type of column we can specify in the sync. Okay, so obviously date time column. So here obviously timestamp. Okay, but what is a delay? 60 seconds. You understand, right? Sync. What is a delay means? Okay, that say some indexes. So let's say our source index getting ingested. Okay, and that time, so if you are going with ask the source index, hey, give me what is the latest record, that may take some time, right? Okay, so there is possible delay. So how much delay we can wait transformation? So I am specifying 60 seconds you can wait. Okay, you can 60 seconds wait to source index give the record to you, because the source index may be busy because of many reasons. Assume that the source index getting data ingested by many job or many beats. Okay, so what will happen? That will be very busy, right? Okay, so that's why we will configure delay. Okay, if it is beyond the delay, it will say yes, Param, I could not able to get the data from the source index since he is maybe busy, something like that. Please consider that, something like that. Okay, so obviously we can configure such a case for alert. Okay, then of course some of the settings we are configuring here. So okay, for its pagination, right? It's a pagination basis. So because of it use the composite aggregations. Okay. All the transformation while fetching the data, it uses a composite aggregation, in fact, composite aggregations. Okay, there you can specify for every page, and what could be it's every fetch, just to give 500 records, or you can configure many things, even 1000 records or 2000 records, only 100 records. It's based on our resource available, based on your memory or CPU utilization, something like that. Okay, you can configure accordingly how much data fetched at a time, something like that. Okay. So this is the one of the sample transformation definition, which is latest type, and it is continuous mode. Okay, it is continuous mode. Again, I shown as a sample within the it's a kind of preview. Okay, it does not create the destination index. So while starting any transformation, first we start with in fact preview. Once we are happy with the preview, then we can go for with actual definition, right? So that's a APIs. Again, preview also I didn't show anything in the I am showing in the API base. In the Kibana UI base I will show that. Okay, of course it is very straightforward in the working with Kibana UI. Okay, so nothing complex in fact. Okay, thanks for watching here. So in this videos I have explained how to set up, how to define the jobs. Okay, everything I have explained here. Thank you, thanks for watching. Okay, subscribe my channels. Okay, if you like the content, please leave your comment, like my video.